Yes, other form of mina kwa what platform we as host Naji and I want to be at the SMU. I for the SC. Since I'm can say I pay BBC reports, I rather plane crash and so I was so any for the brother before. You about play video no I'm a woman near course in your see yet near course in I mean not April. And for instance, and I say, I want the size when come on.
Well, I mean, I made it clear when I did my accountability series that if they did not come to us with a reduction for the Ghanaian people, I had made a request for 30%. If they did not do that, I was going to trigger the suspension.
30% or nothing less?
That's my ask, 30%. And there's a reason behind the 30%. Mm-hmm. Some people have said, oh, why don't you do 10%, 15%? In April this year, MultiChoice increased their prices by 15% in April this year. At that time, the cedi had appreciated by about 10% against the dollar. What was the reason for MultiChoice's increases over the last 8 years? Depreciation of the cedi, high interest rates, instability of the currency. As at April this year that they did a 15% increase, we had stability of the currency and appreciation of the currency. We had dropping inflation rates. The macroeconomic indicators were looking better. So there was absolutely no justification for that 15%. So I'm reversing that 15% and then demanding a further 15% for the Ghanaian people. So,
and this is non-negotiable.
They have said to me that they have a position that says we are not going to drop by even 1 cent. And I've said to them, and you see, my advice to businesses is don't fight your regulator. You can't fight a regulator and win. I have taken steps, and you see, when I say that I have engaged, I've gone as far as speaking to the South African Minister for ICT, Suli Matlasi, to speak to them. But MultiChoice is taking a recalcitrant position because they think, and it's wrong calculation, that the Ghanaian people will turn on Sam George because of the EPL. But you see, as a regulator, we have a responsibility where there is a monopoly to act in the interest of the people. And this behavior is not the first time. In 2023, in Malawi, the ministry there, in fact, in that case, they just shut them down, asked them to leave because the prices were exorbitant. MultiChoice went to court, sued the government, went to court, lost the case, and 4 months later came back, offered 1 week free for every subscriber, and dropped the prices. In Liberia, in 2023 as well, there was a similar agitation. They slashed the premium package by $30 and the lower packages by $17. In Nigeria, in 2024, they announced an increase. In Nigeria, they have a consumer protection agency. They went to court, sued MultiChoice, and got the court to rule against MultiChoice. And the Nigerian House of Reps passed an instruction prohibiting the increases in Nigeria. Ghanaians must know that as minister, my fidelity is to them. MultiChoice is not interested in dealing with all the critical issues, the issues of cross-border piracy on their platform. Starlink is an international company. We had instances where people were bringing Starlink devices from other African countries into Ghana to operate. We called Starlink and said we won't allow that to happen. Because you see, there are revenue lines as well for the state on devices that are located in the country. So if you bring a device from outside the country and it's working, it means that it is blind to the Ghanaian state. So now I said to DSTV, deal with cross-border piracy, and they tell me that, well, it's not something they can do. They think they are trying to do what they can do, but they can't. But what that is doing, when people talk about the size of the market in Nigeria and the size of the market here, about 40 to 45% of DSTV devices in Ghana today are all devices from Nigeria. So when you say you have a low subscription in Ghana, it's because your prices are not uniform and has led to cross-border piracy on your platform, and the Ghanaian state is losing, but MultiChoice is not worried because they are making the money. But as a regulator, we invoked the powers of the ECA. When they reached out to my superiors and said they wanted engagement, and I said, but I've engaged you. Because people think I just woke up and did it.
When you say they reached out to your superiors,
they reached out to my superiors.
I said to them,
I engaged you in June, the Ghanaian ownership of MultiChoice. I engaged you, made the point, and you made the point to me that the decision rested with your headquarters. I invited your headquarters, met them with the Ghanaian leadership, made my case to them. They asked me for about 16 days to make a decision. I granted that. In 16 days, they wrote me a 9-page letter with 6 graphs and bar charts explaining to me the instability of Ghana's economy and how our cedi appreciation cannot be trusted to be sustainable.
Oh, okay.
And then I wrote back to them and asked them, since when did MultiChoice become an economic forecasting institution? Yes, their license in Ghana is not to forecast economy. And I sent them links from the IMF, links from Fitch, and links from Standard & Poor's on the future outlook of Ghana's economy. And said that I would take a future forecast on our economy from those institutions and not from MultiChoice.
When it may be. There be a media say, Ghana, we are serious as a nation. DSTV, DSTV is so important to we Ghanaians. And then important to DSTV. Ghana, me see a development. And that's what because you're burning for the news. Where was saying when it Nipa was saying you see DSTV or Ghana. Nipa was saying. So that's say Ghana for the 1 million. A 100 player sweet DSTV. So that's it. And DSTV will be platform. Open and no are they happening development to this nation? And then in every I'm telling you okay, almost almost from better so more because me important the whole be platform and what have and I also what DSTV is DSTV is not something like enough one year certain time or what was over. So that's it. It's in the so and what on so very. It's where your mama is internet time be na important abra you gonna important thing the benefit to be and DSTV. I'm a channel DSTV and a DSTV and a DSTV. I didn't MTN because about the kind so I can say without MTN SIM card or this you can't make a call. But DSTV is important, Charlie. Hey Ghana, you can't do. I don't know. You never play cash do this and they can't play any fast or crash and annually. I said, not plainly Bible sense you are. I say, oh, hey, Charlie. And so BBC for a report to you. I did already know you. I said, how do you want to be saved? Do be a last BBC, be my crama bye bye.